there's this idea that I have to get myself to a certain place financially, professionally, and then she will come and then I'll find the right one. I would encourage, especially any young man, that if she loved you with 1,000, she'll love you with 1,000,000.
Ooh.
But that someone who loves you with 1,000,000 don't mean they would have loved you with
1,000.
Come on. Come on.
Oh, man.
Come on.
What's going on, fam? It's your boy, Anthony O'Neal, and welcome back to the table. We're here. We have a conversation that is real, relatable, and
relevant.
Yo, right here every single week with your boy. And today I'm so pumped to have my boy, Devon Franklin, in the building, who is an award-winning producer, a New York Times national best-selling author, and the book that all the ladies are loving is The Truth About Men. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm pumped to have this brother who Oprah and Ebony Magazine have called out and said he's one of the most influential guys in today's day and time. Y'all, I'm so pumped to have my boy, my brother, my friend, Devon Franklin. Bro, thanks so much for diving in and jumping in with me on this show, man. I've been wanting this for months. And I was able to get on your schedule, man. So thanks so much for coming on the table, man, having a conversation. How are you, man?
First of all, you're welcome, my brother. It's good to see you. I'm doing great. Considering all the things that are going on in the world, I'm sensitive to everything that's happening, and my heart goes out to those being impacted the most. Yet personally, I'm doing great and just, feel very blessed.
Devon, I have the average person that watches this show is between the ages of 18 and 34, okay? And so when we look at the stats today, 4 million college students are about to graduate college here within the next couple of months. They won't have a graduation. And they're going into a world to where nearly 26 million people have filed for unemployment because of what's going on. How can we, all of us, and especially these 4 million graduates, use both their faith and works to have peace around the financial plans and goals and visions that they had, especially around these uncertainty times?
Yeah, I think that, even outside of a pandemic or dealing with those challenges, graduating college is an uncertain time, no matter whether or not you have a job lined up or not. I remember, I went to USC, University of Southern California. I majored in business. I minored in film. And I'll never forget when I graduated college, it was an interesting feeling because I was incredibly happy and I already had a job situated, but I was also sad and I felt a little out of place and out of sorts. And here's why. Up until that point, my entire life had been structured by quarters or semesters or summer breaks. That structure was what laid the foundation. And then graduating, all of a sudden that structure was out. So it was an adjustment to get familiar to the unknown of what life was going to be when I no longer had to go to school or had classes or midterms or exams or finals, so on and so forth. So I think that already is inherent in anyone graduating. Now, when you combine, post-pandemic, to your question about faith and works, the critical thing about faith is the evidence of what we don't see, right? And so here's the thing that's critical. A lot of times we're trying to base faith on news, right? Oh, well, the pandemic has hit, 26 million people are unemployed. The industry that I was in, there's no one's hiring. No, stop.
There you go. Yeah.
Stop. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So it's really important if you're going to have faith, you can't allow what you see on the outside to dictate what you're going to believe on the inside. So faith means I know what I'm interested in. I know what I was created to do. I know what I got my degree in. And I believe that there's going to be a position post-graduation in the field that I have spent these number of years studying for. Number one, the works may look like, okay, I'm going to be calm and I'm going to apply for the jobs. I'm going to work my network. I'm going to, be resourceful. I'm going to see what's out there, but I'm not going to allow the headlines to creep into my process. It's really, really important. Because if I had done that, going back to when I graduated, there were I didn't know anybody in Hollywood. I got my first job as an intern while I was going to school, but then I graduated. I became an assistant at Will Smith's company. And, I didn't know anybody. And people kept telling me, when you graduate, it's really hard to break into the industry and you're not going to be able to make a lot of money and whatever. And that was not my reality. not that I made a ton of money, but at the time I made enough money for a graduate more than others were making. Why? Because I chose not to believe others' reality for myself. And I put the works behind the faith in order to help chart my course. And so I would encourage anyone right now to do the same thing, pandemic or not. When you look at that scripture you're referencing, it doesn't say, if there's a pandemic, this doesn't work. It doesn't say, if the GDP is down, this scripture no longer applies. It doesn't say that. It just says faith without works. Faith not accompanied by works is dead. So the opposite is that faith with works is alive. You want to keep your career alive? You got to put works behind your faith.
When I look at you, I see success. But then when I look at you, I see hard work before the success. I see I know you as a faith guy. I mean, I follow your journey. I listen to your sermons, and you're very heavy on faith. Speak to that 18 to 34-year-old right now that wants to get into a specific career, but it's not going to be easy. They just graduated. Now on top of, let's say they want to get into the entertainment business, maybe write some movies, maybe own a company one day, become an entrepreneur, start a business. So not only are they dealing with this pandemic right now, but now they also got to deal with, how do I adjust? How do I still have faith to move forward and to go after the things that I was created to do with all this stuff going on?
Yeah, first of all, anyone, who's in that category should be grateful it's not hard. I mean, grateful that it is hard, grateful that it's not easy. I mean, the fact that it's hard is a great sign. Ooh. Because if when you go into the gym, if you're able just to, run on the treadmill, you don't sweat. If you're able to, do the weights and it doesn't feel like anything, then that means you're not growing. That means you're not transforming to who God called you to be. So it's really important that if it's difficult, that's actually going to work for your good. Yeah. Anything worth having, anything worthwhile is going to come with a level of challenge at the level of the difficulty of whatever you're aspiring to do. So, I know everyone's been watching the Last Dance documentary. At the level that Michael wanted to play, that was the challenges that he met, right? Yeah. So the way to win is to not be upset by those challenges, but to say, of course, these challenges are this great because I'm that great. So it's really important to have a mindset of, you don't need to be in anxiety over your gift, like have an ease about your gift, but know the process to bring your gift to the world is going to come with challenges. And those challenges are designed to bring the gift out, not to keep you away from it. And I think that's a critical piece. A lot of times when you're starting out in your career and the degree of difficulty is so high, you can miscalculate, like, oh, why is it so hard? And, a quarter life crisis and I'm never going to make it. No, that's so wrong. Absolutely. If it's hard, that means that is going to bring it out of you. Think about a diamond, right? There's no pressure. It can't be created. So you can't be created if there's no pressure. You can't grow if you don't go through something. I mean, I've always wanted to produce. That was my original intent when I started working in Hollywood. I started when I was 18 years old. I didn't become a producer, had running my own company until I was 36.
Wow.
There we go. 18 years.
Wow.
Yes, 18 years of showing up, going to work, being of service, navigating the difficulties of Hollywood, no family, no relation, no people in the business that I knew, started from scratch, from zero. I'm a person of color. There's very few people of color, in entertainment. I'm a man of faith, very few men of faith in entertainment. So you talk about all the strikes that were against me, and it took time. And what I will tell you, though, is that once I got the company, I knew what to do with it. And that's the key. It's one thing to want something, but it's another thing to have the skill set to manage it. And I know there's a lot of people that listen to your show and a lot of young people that are aspiring. Here's what I know. If you are given something right now that you don't know how to manage, you are going to mess it up. Not because you aren't willing. You're just not skilled.
Come on.
It has nothing to do with the will. It has everything to do with the skill. And too often we just think our will is the thing that we got to focus on and the skills will come.
Yeah.
In my experience, it's that skill that helps support the will. And you can only get that skill through time, through experience, and through challenges.
You know, I'm sitting here writing notes myself, man. I mean, I know this is my video, but I promise you that I got notes, man. I'm writing down. You know, I mean, when you get this opportunity to have this conversation, but I'm like, when you're talking, it's also sparking something on the inside of me.
Amen.
And I'm writing it down because I want to remember that, because that's God speaking through you to me and hopefully to all of us watching right now. But you said something about this generation. It's my generation. I'm 34 years old. You know, just because you may have the skill, are you willing to put in the time so you can manage it well? It took you 18 years to get to where you are. And I'm pretty sure you're not to where you want to end. You're still growing and still going.
Yes, got a long way to go.
And so I have a lot of young people, man. I have a lot of young people that hit me up all the time. Anthony, I'm in $300,000 worth of debt. I'm not going to get a job because I want to be a model. I want to own my own hair store. And so I believe that they're skipping that season of putting in work so they can manage the season that I believe God will give them, but they're not willing to put in the work. And I think that's why a lot of them are struggling right now. During those 18 years, did you ever feel like giving up? Did you ever question the faith side of things? Because I think a lot of young people are starting to do that.
There's no doubt that there were moments where we would call them, dark nights of the soul, where it didn't look like the things I was believing were ever going to happen. It felt like I was hitting roadblock after roadblock. There were times when I absolutely wanted to give up. There were times when I would even cry because I just couldn't understand how this could happen. I put in this amount of work into a certain, project. The project worked, but it didn't lead to a promotion for me. And there were many different things that I experienced and endured. But the thing that kept me going is that every time I would get low like that, I would always get a word of confirmation to keep going. Yeah. Whether, and this is what's interesting, is that when I think the key for anyone watching this, especially if you're young in your career, the goal is to get on the path. Whatever the path is that you're supposed to be on, you just got to get on the path. Because once you're on the path and you stay committed to the path, you'll be shocked that everything you need is already on the path. So I believe that I'm supposed to be in entertainment, right? So I went to Hollywood. I started as an intern. I got on the path. And as I was on the path, what I was looking for was confirmation. Am I supposed to be here? Do I have the skill set? Do I have the temperament? Do I have the disposition? Do I have the talent to navigate this business? And so I would continuously get confirmation, either through people that, worked in the business. Oh my goodness, you're really good at this. Or I would do something, I would get positive affirmation. So in those moments when I was really going through it and I wanted to give up, that's when I would get a word of encouragement from someone I didn't even ask for. There was one time, one of my bosses at Sony Pictures where I, was working, she is not so much a person of faith, but she saw me in a meeting and she asked me, she said, Devon, hey, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I told her, I was like, first of all, it was weird that she would take enough time out of her busy day to care about me.
Yeah.
So important. And a lot of it had to do with our dynamic and our relationship. So she asked me, and I said, listen, I'll be honest with you, I'm frustrated. I feel like the things I really want out of this job and this career are not happening. And, and I really want to do more. And she just said, Devon, trust me, you are doing great. You're going to be just fine. Trust me. She said, you don't even understand. I know that you have ambitions and desires and dreams. I get it. But let me tell you, it's all going to happen. You just got to relax. Just take a breather. Don't let the energy of negativity get to you. Just stay committed. It's going to work. And so moments like that help me get back in the game, help me get my mind right. And as a result, I'm here now because I didn't stop. I kept going.
This morning I was on I love that, because this morning I was on the news and they asked me a question. They said, what is the number one thing you can advise to young people right now? And I told them, I want you to focus on what you can control and do not stress on things that you can't control, okay? Just have faith in all areas, but focus on the things that you can control. How can we react to our current present, whatever that present is? It may not be fulfilling. We may be discouraged. Some people may feel like, maybe I need to pivot. How do we react to our present? And then how do we even prepare for our future?
There's two things. I'll start with the future. I'll back into the present.
Okay.
Got to understand something real critical. the future doesn't exist.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Okay.
You gotta understand that. Like, in terms of our natural ability to navigate time, the future is a time that does not yet exist, because the only thing that exists right now is the present. So while God may be past, present, and future, we ourselves, we have experiences from the past, but we're currently living in the present, and we have aspirations or hope of what may happen in the future. But the future, in terms of our reality, doesn't necessarily physically exist, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Why that is so important is because a lot of times we will outsource to a future that doesn't exist things from the present that we should be doing right now. So, yes, plan for your future, have a vision for the future, absolutely. But also ask yourself the question, what can I do today? What am I supposed to do today? How can I work towards the vision I have? How can I work towards my career goal, my professional goal now? And then what happens is those steps that are taken in the present ultimately help you get to that place in the future. But if you don't take those moments in the present, that future may never manifest. And so it's really important, because I see a lot of people having these hopes and dreams and aspirations, but they don't maximize their day. They don't maximize. So if you can't take full advantage of the day you've been given, if you can't fully maximize your present, how you going to handle the future? Who you will be, you are now becoming.
Come on, man.
Seriously, so people want to run a company, but they can't run their life. How's it going to work?
You can't do it.
You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. I hate to burst your bubble. You can't do it. So if your goal, if you have a business goal, a professional goal, then you got to look at how you spend your days in your present. And that is what's going to allow you to ultimately get to whatever future you're envisioning. The other part I'll add to that quickly is that the way to maximize the day is through prioritizing. You got to prioritize your present. Prioritize your present. Not everything has equal value or weight. So, I have a production company. I'm an author. I'm on television. I have I'm doing TV deals. I'm doing a bunch of different things. So in order for me to move everything forward, I have to have a sense of what's most important and what's not. I don't just pull out my to-do list and do everything in sequential order. No, I write a to-do list and I identify what needs to be done. That call needs to be made. That email needs to be sent. This meeting needs to happen. And the things that are not a priority shift down. Because heaven forbid I don't get a chance to get to those during the day. It's okay. I will have already maximized my day by prioritizing those things that need to get done. The more someone prioritizes their present, they prepare themselves for the future that they are planning for.
Man. Listen, you guys, if you just now tuned in to the table, you are watching this amazing conversation where we're having real, relatable, and relevant conversations. And today, this is probably the realest conversation I've had with my friend Devon Franklin, man, who is just a phenomenal guy. He's a national best-selling author. He's a husband. He is a very well-known individual, but this is a very well-spoken, wise man of God, and he's dropping some wisdom on us today. And I just want to thank you, sir, for the wisdom that you're giving. I want to go a little deeper, and I really want you to encourage and think about this question because I get asked this a lot, and I think that you are a better man to answer this, especially with your most recent book. The question that I'm always asked is, Anthony, as a single individual, where should I be with my finances and faith before I start dating, before I get married? Is there a specific place I should be with my finances? And is there a certain level I should be on when it comes to my spiritual walk with Christ?
Mm-hmm. So I'll hit the walk with Christ first, and I'll hit the finances. So in terms of faith, walk with Christ, it's important whether you're single or married to have a strong relationship and to make. It's almost like if you're dating, make that relationship with Christ put as much enthusiasm and energy into that relationship as you are into your current relationship or the relationship you aspire to get. Wow. So, yes, because the closer you walk with Christ as a single, the closer you will walk with him as someone who's married. So very, very important and very instrumental in my life. And, I had a strong relationship, with Christ before getting married, and it's only been enhanced since getting married. The other thing that is really, really important is that if you are someone who really wants to get your finances, situated while you're dating, the key thing is this. Too often, especially for men, there's this idea that if I have to get myself to a certain place financially, professionally, and then, she will come, and then I'll find the right one. Mm. That's dangerous thinking. Ooh. Because what it does is it says, I myself am not good enough. Who I am right now is not good enough. So I must go do something to become something. And once I do something in the form of making a certain amount of money, then I will be good enough to find her, right? Wow. Why that's dangerous is because you buy into that mentality, but that mentality won't stop when you get married, because you'll always be feeling like, well, I'm not good enough. I have to go buy this. I got to get a bigger house, a bigger car, this. So financially, you keep yourself on this hamster wheel chasing value because your own personal value is tied up in what you do. Mm. I would encourage, especially any young man, to know it's not a dollar sign you got to have. Mm. It's not. What you need to do financially is just be responsible, be accountable. That's all it is. You may have $1,000. All right, manage it well. Take care of it. And know that if she loved you with 1,000, she'll love you with 1,000,000. Ooh. But that someone who loves you with 1,000,000 don't mean they would have loved you with 1,000. Oh. Come on.
Oh, man.
Come on. And then if you're a woman, here's another thing that's so important. Don't feel like you can't accelerate in your career and that's going to hold you back from the right one. Because a lot of times I hear, women say, oh, I'm making too much money and it makes the guys I date insecure and so on and so forth. Maybe it's just that you're dating the wrong guys. Oh! I believe that there is somebody for everybody. It doesn't mean, and this is I know, my sisters don't like when I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. It doesn't mean, I don't believe love sees the color. I understand we have preferences, right? But I don't believe love sees the color. So I believe that if you want the right one, you may be able to find the right one, even if that person may not be of your same race. I believe that. Ooh. So if you are a woman, don't slow down your progress artificially, financially, in order to catch some mythical man and not make him insecure. No. Earn as much as you can earn. Do as much as you can do. And know and trust that the right man will appreciate that, will work with you, you will work with them, and it won't be a threat. Before I got married, Megan, when we came together, Megan was definitely making more than me. And I didn't have one issue with that. Why? Two become one. So two bank accounts become one bank account. I got an increase. Hallelujah, amen, somebody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, when it comes to finances, there's no mythical number. There's no like, oh, I need to get here. Just be accountable and responsible for the resources that you have.
Listen, I've never said this on air, and thank God we're pre-recording this because we may have to edit this one out. But you're speaking to me, and let's not edit this out. Let's be real. 30, I was engaged, man, to an amazing woman. I dated her for 5 years because she was making 3 times my income. She was a VP of a very big bank, and I couldn't even come nowhere near her income. And I dated her for 5 years because I wanted to become financially secure first. And by the time I proposed, perfect woman, perfect relationship, she was at an age that it was not wise, that her doctor advised her that if you have a baby because of her because of her previous stuff and her health condition, it would be dangerous for her. So because I waited, because I tried to get myself right, because I was insecure with myself, it pushed her to a place to where she was like, I we can get married, but I can't have any kids.
Wow.
And because she couldn't have any kids, I walked away from the marriage because I want kids. You know, I'm 34 years old. At the time, I was like 30. I'm like, I know I want kids. She already had 2. And she said exactly what you said. She said, boy, I met you when you was a youth pastor, making $30,000 a year. I didn't meet you because you were making a lot of money. I wanted you because I actually loved you. And then when I started making this kind of money, she was like, that doesn't bother me at all because 2 becomes 1. And I always respected you as the man. And what you just said, I just want to say as a man, thank you, bro, for saying that. Because I think a lot of guys are like me. They want to be right, and they're missing out on something that could be better for them. And then 2, you're right. And I'm going to be honest, I would love to marry a woman who makes more money than me. But I ain't going to lie. It will make me feel like, ooh, I got to step up my game a little bit. But you're right. When 2 get married, you become 1. And so now y'all's bank account is real.
There's a healthy way to do that. You know what I mean? It's like, I think that there's a healthy way to say, okay, yeah, my wife makes more than me. Okay, I'm not insecure about that, but that also motivates me to make sure I'm doing everything I can do. You know, I'm working with how hard I can work. I'm prioritizing my day. Like that can be, it needs to be a healthy thing.
Yes.
Not where it's like, ooh, you know, I don't want her to make that kind of thing. And then I'm kind of pouring cold water on her,
yes.
You know, making her feel, no. Like the more she feels empowered and she can go earn as much, if that motivates you as a man, great, let it be a motivating factor. You know what I mean? But don't let it be a factor that eats you up so badly that you can never really reach your full potential because you're still focused on what she has and why you don't have that.
Oh, no. It's going to make me grind even harder. Like, babe, all right, you making this kind of money? Oh, I'm about to do the same thing too. Let's go. Let's build something. Let's build a legacy. Let's pass down some money to our kids. Hey, let's go. Hey, we got a movie idea, bro. We'll even fund it ourselves.
Exactly.
You know, man, this is absolutely such a blessing, man, to have you on. At the beginning of this year, I challenge my tribe, the people who follow me and watch my YouTube show, follow me on the Dave Ramsey show, and all the things around my tribe. I told them, hey, millennials this year, we're going to focus on building our business, our mind. And I said, we're going to read at least 1 book a month. We're going to listen to 1 podcast a week. And we're going to cut off social media, stop consuming someone else's life, and start really focusing on building our lives. This is a year that I expect someone from my tribe to become a millionaire, to start a business, to purchase homes, to pay off debt. And so I told them we're going to read. For our last segment, before we get off this show and bring on Connor and have a little fun with you before you leave, what is one thing you would say you've learned this year that has impacted you as a entrepreneur, maybe as a husband, maybe as a friend, or maybe just as a man of God? But what is something that you've read, listened to, or just God has given you that has impacted you within these last 3 or 4 months?
You know, I mean, the book that I have been reading, I'm going to pull it out because I always mess up. What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Dr. Shad Helmstetter. This book, you know, I go through a bunch of different books, but this book in particular is one I've been reading recently. And man, it's deep. It's really, really deep. It's all about, you know, building a better conversation with yourself and how your self-talk is critical to your success. And it has a point in the book that blew me away. And, you know, you motivate people, inspire people all the time. And what it said was one of the downsides of motivation is that you can give the best motivational speech ever. People can be on their feet. But a lot of times motivation is like cheap food. You feel it in the moment, but then all of a sudden it passes and you're hungry again. And so he said, well, why is this? He said, because if the person you're talking to has no inner motivation, your motivation cannot stick, period. So the goal is to build people to have better inner motivation, which is dependent on their self-talk. Because if they talk to themselves in a positive way, in an affirming way, then when you talk to them, that conversation they've already been having with themselves, connected to the conversation you're having with them, will help them grow. Wow. Right?
Wow.
Isn't that deep?
That's
deep.
Wow.
So I was like, I said, got it. Got it. So that has been a revelation that has really helped transform how I look at everything.
Man, yo, listen, man. We're going to put a link to that book down below because you guys, every time we have someone come on that drops a good bink, not a good bink. Every time we have someone come on that drops a good book, I'm going to read it, but I want you to join me as well. So check that out below, and I'm telling you, man, it's going to be amazing. So I really appreciate you for bringing that book up there, Devon. And so I'm going to bring in my producer, Connor Adams. He is the man behind the camera. So every time we end the show, because everything is always so deep, sometimes I just want to end and just something fun, get to know you a little bit better. And I told him to come up with something for a grown, successful entrepreneur. It's a question that we both get to ask. And so I said, bro, let's hit him with something fun, but let's just see which one would he choose. So Devon, hit him up. And actually, I think I may answer this one too. He's going to answer this one from a married perspective. I'll answer it from a single perspective.
Awesome. And Devon, just so you know, what's cool is the viewers at home get to vote in this poll as well. So you can actually go back and see if the majority voted with you or against you. There's no right or wrong answer. It's basically a would you rather question, but we wrap it around money. So today's question is, would you rather save money by getting to go on a date night with your spouse once a year, but anywhere you want, any budget, or getting to go on a date night every week with a $20 budget?
I would do every week with a $20 budget.
Really?
Yes, that's going to keep me married much longer.
I'd say the same thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we'll get creative. We'll figure it out.
Maybe it's because I'm a little bit younger. I'm like, okay, if I tell my wife, hey, we're going to save up and go to Africa and spend a week there. That's our date.
That's the single married perspective.
But if you got $20 a week, if you were to save all that, you ain't getting far anyway. So just decide you're gonna spend that. What's that? A little over $1,200 or something like that. No, that ain't going.
This man said, hey, listen, that's why you're the man who wrote the book, The Wait, the truth about men. I'm the man who wrote the book about getting out of debt. I didn't write any relationship books. Man, but I appreciate you, sir, for coming on. Can you let the people know where they can find more information about you, your books, so that way they can? I definitely want them to support you. So give us a little bit of information about yourself and how we can find you.
Sure, just come to Devon Franklin, www.DEVONFranklin.com. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at Devon Franklin. So, come find me and, I try to do my best to help as many as I can.
Yeah, man, listen, y'all, follow him on IG. This man is dropping videos every single day. I'm like, how is he doing this but it's good. I love him. I follow him. I support him. I need you all to follow and support him as well. He will bless your life. Sir, thank you so much for your time. We know you're a busy man. And, man, keep in touch, and I look forward to you.
Likewise.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for all you're doing.
Thank you, Devon.
All right, sir.
All right, y'all.
All right,
appreciate you.
All right.
Peace.
God bless. Be cool.
Wow, you guys. Again, another great show, man, to have someone of this caliber on the show come on and just really encourage us about faith and works. Put in the work while you have faith that God is going to take care of your future. Do and focus on what you need to be doing today so that your tomorrow is brighter, so that the next 5-10 years will be standing on a solid foundation. Y'all, listen, man, if you have not subscribed to the channel, I need you to subscribe to the channel. And you know what? I want you to share this channel with someone today. Y'all, this is the table. This is the table where we're having real, relatable, and relevant conversations every single week. Y'all, I can't wait. We got some more special stuff coming. Wait until you see the next show. It's your boy, Anthony O'Neal, and I'm going to see you on the next show. Peace out.